When a woman starts to fall out of love, she rewrites the story in her head without you in it. And one day she starts acting like you're not there, even when you are. You don't see a big fight. You see her slowly stop caring, and by the time you notice, she's already halfway gone. Before we go any further, I want you to comment, "I reclaim my power." Because if you're watching this video, you're starting to wake up. And that self-awareness, that's the start of your transformation. And to everyone who supports this channel, thank you. You are helping spread truth to those who need it most. Number 1. She makes plans without you. She used to ask you what you were doing next week. She used to check if you were free before she booked anything, because she cared about where you fit into her life. She wanted to experience things with you, not around you. But now, without saying a word, she builds her days without considering your presence. She chooses restaurants you've never liked, goes to places you weren't invited, books trips that conveniently never come up in conversation until she's packing. You find out through social media, through mutual friends, through vague mentions that make your stomach drop. And every time you discover she's made another solo move, you feel smaller. You ask yourself if it's worth bringing up. You tell yourself not to sound needy. You hope it's just a phase. It's not. It's a message. A woman who stops including you in her decisions has already started emotionally checking out. This isn't forgetfulness. This is intentional disconnection. It's her choosing distance dressed up as independence. And while you're sitting there trying to justify her change, she's planning a version of her future where you're no longer a priority. And she's hoping you won't notice until it's too late. She's pulling away, one decision at a time, one calendar entry after another, until her life runs parallel to yours instead of intertwined with it. And what most won't admit is that she's probably already considered how to exit, already asked herself what she would say if you confronted her, already made peace with the idea of life without you. The dangerous part is when you still try to hold on tighter. You offer more, you start adjusting your plans to fit hers, hoping she'll see your value again. But it doesn't work. It never does. Because the more available you are, the less scarce you feel, and what's too available becomes too easy. The truth is brutal but clear. She's no longer choosing you. She's selecting herself in every way that matters, while still keeping you close enough to not feel like the bad guy. She wants the benefits of your presence without the responsibility of emotional accountability. She wants to feel free, but still not fully alone. And if you're stuck in that loop, always wondering where you stand, always trying to decode her silence, then you're not in a relationship. You're in limbo. She's not your partner anymore. She's a person who used to love you, now making space for a version of life that doesn't include you in the center. And you've been demoted to a side piece without ever getting the courtesy of a conversation. That's not love. That's emotional phasing out. And it's more common than you think. The reason most don't speak about it is because it shatters the illusion of loyalty. But you deserve truth, not illusions. And the truth is, her behavior speaks louder than her words ever could. So what do? You stop chasing inclusion. You stop waiting to be considered. You stop scheduling your life around someone who's making moves without you. Instead, you build. You build your body. You build your routine. You build your circle. You build so intentionally that her absence becomes your clarity, not your crisis. You don't need her to choose you for you to be valuable. You need to start choosing yourself in ways you've never dared to before. Wake up earlier. Get control over your time. Start learning new skills. Budget your money. Stop oversharing with people who treat your emotions like a nuisance. Become so intentional, so busy with your own elevation, that her distance doesn't feel like a punishment. It feels like permission. Permission to finally prioritize you. And while you're at it, eliminate the thought that one day she might come back. That hope is what's stopping you from rising. The minute you stop waiting for someone who's already moving forward without you is the minute you start living a life where nobody gets to decide your worth except you. And that's the quiet power. That's Stoicism without the labels. When you learn to accept the situation exactly as it is, not as you wish it would be, you free yourself. She makes plans without you. Let her. You make better ones. With or without her, your life moves forward. But only if you stop standing still. Because if you've been stuck wondering how to reclaim your sense of direction after watching her drift away, it's time you take back control, not just emotionally, but strategically. That's why the Stoic relationship blueprint was created. It's not just a book, it's a lifeline, a manual built for men who are ready to stop waiting and start living with unshakable clarity. Filled with timeless Stoic principles, it's designed to help you master your emotions, rebuild your mindset, and walk away from confusion with confidence. And now, it's finally available in audiobook format, so you can listen while you walk, jog, drive, train, while you rebuild. The blueprint stays with you. Once it's yours, it's always yours. This knowledge becomes part of your DNA, so don't wait until you're broken beyond repair. The link's in the comments. Get it, and start turning the silence into strength. Number 2, becomes emotionally distant. She used to tell you everything, from how her day went to what upset her, what made her laugh, what she dreamt about the night before. She made you feel like you were living life alongside her, not just next to her. But then, piece by piece, something changes. She starts withholding. Not with anger, not with noise, with nothing. She starts speaking in shorter sentences. She doesn't volunteer information anymore. You have to ask 3 times before you get a basic answer, and even then, it's dry, delayed, and sounds like it's pulled from a script she's tired of reciting. You used to be the first person she wanted to tell anything to. Now, you're the last person she wants to feel seen by. And don't lie to yourself. You've felt this. You've walked into a room and felt like a stranger in your own relationship. You've heard her voice and it didn't sound like it used to, not because it changed, but because something in her tone told you she doesn't feel the same. And you try to explain it to your friends, but how do you explain absence without silence? How do you prove that what's missing is invisible but heavy? You feel crazy trying to make sense of it because everything looks normal from the outside. But you know better. You feel it in your gut. She's no longer there, not really. Her body shows up, but her soul stays behind, and you keep trying. You buy flowers, you plan nights out, you bring up memories, but nothing lands. It's like trying to restart a fire with wet wood. The spark's gone, and every effort just reminds you how cold it is now. And deep down, you start questioning your worth. Was it something you did? Was it a slow fade? Are you not enough anymore? And that self-doubt, that's where the real damage begins, because now you're not just fighting for her love, you're fighting for your own self-respect. And let's get brutally honest, she sees that. She senses your anxiety, she notices your hesitation, and instead of reassuring you, she pulls further away. because she knows she's losing interest, and she'd rather let you take the blame than admit she's changed. This is the brutal part most won't say. When someone becomes emotionally distant, it's rarely a moment. It's a process. And once that process begins, it's hard to stop. And the reason most men suffer through this in silence is because they confuse emotional distance with emotional difficulty. But distance isn't hard times, it's disconnection. There's a difference. Hard times still involve effort, care, presence. Distance is the removal of all three. She stops celebrating your wins. She doesn't notice your lows. She doesn't respond with empathy when you open up. And you try to chalk it up to stress, to hormones, to distraction. But the truth is right in front of you. She no longer wants to be emotionally close. And yet, you stay. You stay hoping it'll change. You try harder, thinking love is about perseverance. You think maybe if you just stay strong enough, long enough, she'll come back. But she won't. Not if she's already gone in her heart. So what's the solution? You stop waiting for someone to validate your emotions. You stop depending on someone who's proving they can live without understanding you. You start building your emotional strength, not by pretending you don't care, but by mastering how to live with reality as it is, not as you wish it was. You journal every day. You track your emotional highs and lows. You build routines that don't revolve around her responses. You stop overthinking her tone and start focusing on your tone to yourself. You create space, not to chase her, but to recover your sense of identity. You relearn who you are without needing her attention to feel whole, and you stop calling her lack of presence a phase. It's not a phase, it's a transition. And the only question that matters is, are you going to sit in the emotional waiting room until she makes a decision? Or are you going to walk out and make one for yourself? Because emotional distance doesn't reverse with effort. It responds to boundaries. It's in your ability to say, I won't beg for connection. I won't lower my standards for basic reciprocity. I won't keep showing up full when you've been showing up empty. And that kind of mindset, it transforms you. Not into someone cold, but into someone clear. Into someone who's no longer addicted to the idea of what this relationship could be, but grounded in what it actually is. And once you operate from that place of internal clarity, you stop needing her emotional investment to feel alive. You become your own source of stability. And if she notices, great. If not, you're still better off. Because the worst thing you can do is keep pouring into a cup that hasn't been raised to you in weeks. So let her be distant. Let her drift. Let her move through her own emotional withdrawal. You don't chase. You don't fix. You don't plead. You observe. And you act, not based on panic, but based on power. Power that comes from emotional discipline. From being able to feel pain without losing control. From being able to feel rejection without losing your path. From being able to walk away not because you don't care, but because you've realized you deserve more than breadcrumb connection. That's how you flip emotional distance into emotional freedom. Number 3. She no longer prioritizes time with you. You remember when she used to light up at the thought of spending time with you. It didn't matter if it was a dinner, a late-night walk, or just sitting next to each other doing nothing. She made time for you because being with you mattered. Now, everything else comes first. Friends, co-workers, hobbies, self-care, plans that don't include you, and somehow every part of her life gets scheduled with precision, while time with you becomes a leftover, a slot that might get filled if nothing else is happening. You're not imagining it. She's not just busy, she's selective, and you're no longer the selection. That ache in your chest isn't neediness, it's awareness. It's your inner voice telling you the person who once found you exciting now finds you optional. And what most men do in this moment is destructive. They become more available. They try to win her time with effort, gifts, validation, kindness, reassurance, thinking if they just prove their value enough, she'll return to who she was. But that only makes things worse. Because now, instead of her seeing you as the partner she's neglecting, she sees you as someone who's willing to be neglected. And the more she feels you'll tolerate being sidelined, the more she builds a schedule that doesn't include you without guilt. She starts responding slower, coming home later, using tired as a shield against closeness, and gradually, without conflict, she disconnects. The tragedy: you keep showing up, you keep trying, you wait for a shift. But time doesn't change her priority if it's no longer you. And the bitter truth? You've made her feel like you'll stay no matter what. That you're so available, she doesn't have to value your presence. And that's the exact moment you lose respect. Not just hers, but your own. Because you're betraying your standard. You're shrinking your needs to keep a place in her life. You're calling crumbs a meal, hoping if you wait long enough, she'll remember how good it used to be. But you're not the same man anymore, and she's not the same woman. And the version of her that used to prioritize you might never come back. So you have a choice. Keep watching yourself become an emotional afterthought, or reclaim your time. Reclaim your identity. That starts with brutal honesty. Write down her effort. Not what you hope for, what's real. Write down how often she initiates time with you, not responds to you. How often she looks forward to you, not just tolerates your presence. If the answer is rare or never, it's time to shift. You shift by turning that open space into self-mastery. You schedule your time with intention. Wake up earlier, work harder, train longer, learn something new. Replace wishful thinking with powerful discipline. Instead of wondering where she is, you become someone whose presence is missed. You fill your calendar with so much evolution, she either steps back into your reality or gets left behind. But here's what separates those who rise from those who break. Those who rise stop needing a woman's time to define their value. They stop assigning their worth to how much someone else invests. They realize that if they don't see themselves as a priority, no one else will. And when you start prioritizing yourself, your goals, your routines, your purpose, you stop chasing validation and start commanding attention. Not by asking, by becoming undeniable. And if she doesn't see that, then she was never built for the version of you that's coming. Understand this: the time you give away without return is the time you could have used to become unrecognizable to the person who overlooked you. And if she truly cares, your shift will wake her up. If not, she was already on her way out. Either way, you win. Because this isn't about her anymore. This is about how long you'll keep waiting for someone who's already shown you what matters more than you. The answer is in the pattern. The solution is in your discipline. The power is in your time. And it's time to stop giving it away for free. Number 4. She avoids meaningful conversations. You bring up what's bothering you, and she suddenly needs to get some air. You ask where things are heading, and she pretends she didn't hear the question. You try to talk about the distance growing between you, and her response is either silence, defensiveness, or a forced laugh that feels more like a warning than an answer. What's really happening here isn't miscommunication, it's disengagement. She's not struggling to talk. She's choosing not to, not because she doesn't know what's wrong, but because admitting the truth means taking responsibility. It means facing the fact that she's losing interest, and most people don't want to be seen as the one who gave up first. So they dodge, they delay, they downplay. They try to escape the discomfort of accountability by acting like there's nothing to talk about. And you feel the shift. You sense the words unspoken. You feel the coldness in her tone, the lack of eye contact, the half-hearted nods that used to be warm affirmations. You tell yourself she's tired. You convince yourself it's stress. But deep inside, you already know she's pulling away. And no matter how many times you bring it up, you get the same reaction. She avoids, redirects, and emotionally disappears. That is not love. That is not partnership. That is not respect. That is survival mode deflection from someone who's already given up the fight without telling you the match is over. And the biggest mistake you can make in this moment is trying to talk your way back into her heart. You start repeating yourself. You get emotional. You try to unpack everything in one conversation, hoping she'll finally crack open and let you back in. But you can't talk someone into feeling what they've already decided they don't want to feel anymore. You can't argue your way back into someone's soul once they've closed the door and walked away emotionally. The more you chase those deep talks, the more you become background noise. The solution is not another conversation. It's not another emotional breakdown in hopes she'll understand. It's not sending long texts explaining how much you miss the connection. The solution is withdrawal. Strategic, disciplined withdrawal, not to punish her, to preserve you. You take your energy back from someone who's proven they no longer receive it with care. You become your own listener. You become your own sounding board. You journal the thoughts you use to try to tell her. You process your feelings through action, not through begging for a listener who's no longer listening. You stop showing her your wounds, hoping she'll stop cutting. You stand in the quiet and say, I am done chasing understanding from someone who made a decision to stop being part of this team. And then you rebuild. You start focusing on the habits that strengthen your clarity. Early mornings, physical discipline, new books, small wins. You cut the noise and raise the standards. You let the distance reveal the truth, not through her answers, but through her patterns. And when you stop trying to fix what she's no longer fighting for, something powerful happens. You reclaim your dignity. You remember that conversations mean nothing without effort, that love without engagement is just emotional debt, that the person who walks away from hard talks is also walking away from growth. And you refuse to beg someone to grow with you. Let them go. Let them retreat into their excuses. Let them escape the intimacy they're too afraid to handle. And you don't shrink. You don't lash out. You don't try to win them back with logic. You evolve into someone who no longer tolerates avoidance disguised as peace. Someone who refuses to confuse emotional detachment with maturity. Someone who recognizes when words stop mattering because actions already told the whole story. That's not weakness, that's wisdom, that's power. That's what it means to live with emotional discipline. To see the game, know the rules, and refuse to play at a level beneath your own value. You're not cold, you're clear. You're not heartless. You've grown tired of giving CPR to conversations that were never alive to begin with. So let the silence be hers. Let the avoidance be her pattern. But you walk forward. You speak truth into your own life. And you speak it not with words, but with movement, with elevation, with transformation that requires no audience and no approval. That's how you take back your power. That's how you become undeniable. That's how you stop chasing closure from people who never cared enough to give you clarity. And once you've done that, truly done that, you'll never waste your breath again on someone who shuts the door every time you try to speak. Number 5. She stops defending you. She used to step in when people misunderstood you. She used to speak up when others tried to question your intentions. She once had pride in your name, in the way you carried yourself, in being associated with you. She would challenge the narrative if someone tried to paint you wrong, because to her, being with you meant being for you. But slowly, she stops. She starts letting things slide. She hears criticisms about you and says nothing. She watches people test your patience, mock your efforts, disrespect your position, and she doesn't step forward anymore. You're left to defend yourself while she watches from the side, quiet, disconnected, almost detached, like none of it concerns her anymore. What changed? Her pride in you evaporated. Her emotional loyalty vanished. She no longer feels the urge to protect your image because, in her mind, she's already emotionally exited the role of partner, protector, or advocate. And it cuts deeper than silence. It tells you exactly where you stand. You are no longer someone she's invested in publicly. You're tolerated privately. She doesn't correct people when they misread your intentions because she doesn't value your integrity anymore. She lets people draw their conclusions about you and stays quiet, which is even worse than betrayal. It's indifference. And what you don't realize is, this happens way before she leaves physically. This is one of the earliest signs that her sense of loyalty is dying, not because of something major you did, but because she slowly allowed herself to stop seeing you with admiration. When admiration dies, defense goes with it. She won't shield what she doesn't believe in. And instead of bringing it to you directly, instead of confronting her doubts like someone who still respects the bond, she becomes passive. That passivity shows up in front of her friends. It shows up in how she talks about you when you're not in the room. It shows up in the shift from, "He's going through something," to, "I don't know what's wrong with him anymore." You notice the change in tone, the change in wording, the way her stories about you change from warmth to cold neutrality. And it stings, because you're still defending her in your head, still explaining away her disinterest, still making excuses to your friends about why things feel off. But at some point, you have to stop protecting someone who's already left you unprotected. You have to wake up and recognize the line has already been crossed. The connection is no longer mutual, and if you don't step into your awareness now, you'll find yourself trying to prove yourself to someone who no longer believes in you. And that's a prison of your own making. So what do you do when she stops defending you? You defend yourself, not with words, not by clapping back. You elevate yourself to a level where no defense is needed. You start operating with such conviction, such presence, such truth in how you move, that anyone who speaks against you sounds misinformed. You outgrow the noise. You stop explaining yourself to people who only want to misunderstand you. You invest that energy into your presence, your consistency, your discipline. You master your role in life, not as someone waiting to be defended, but as someone whose actions make silence look foolish. And when she realizes that you no longer need her approval, that you no longer look to her for that shield she dropped a long time ago, something shifts. She either wakes up to what she's lost, or fades into the background as just another person who couldn't recognize your worth when it mattered. But none of that matters if you don't reclaim your voice. You reclaim it by becoming undeniable. by speaking through outcomes, not arguments, by being so locked in on your mission that people either align or get left behind. No more asking for backup, no more begging for understanding, no more hoping someone will vouch for you in rooms you no longer need to be in. And if your silence scares her, let it. If your growth exposes her distance, let it. Because the man who stands tall when no one's behind him is the one who never gets knocked off center again. You don't need her to speak for you. You speak through your execution, through your evolution, through your ability to walk through isolation without begging to be brought back into conversations you've already outgrown. And when she watches you become someone who doesn't flinch at her indifference, when she sees that her silence no longer stings you because you've built immunity through truth, that's when your value becomes undeniable. Not to her, but to you. That's when you finally understand that no one can take from you what you've given back to yourself. And in that moment, you're no longer defending yourself. You're defining yourself loudly, permanently, without apology. If you're tired of being the man who waits, who begs, who questions his own value every time she pulls away, this is your turning point. Society doesn't want you to wake up. It thrives on your confusion, your silence, your self-doubt. That ends today. The Stoic relationship blueprint is your weapon, built with timeless principles to give you control, clarity, and power over your mind and your life. And now, it's in audiobook format, so you can absorb this life-changing wisdom while walking, training, or rising back into the man you were meant to be. Once you own it, it's yours forever. No expiration, no permission needed. Linked in the comments. If you're ready, comment, "I'm done waiting." Like the video, subscribe, and help us bring this truth to every man who's one heartbreak away from losing himself. Don't let this moment pass. Regret lives in delay.